Kimmerha Holadunya, Feuchamaich Ye Old Scots the Celtic podcast. On today's show, we'll introduce you to Part 2 and Regular Verbs and Feuchamaich Beagan Gaidhlig. We'll talk to you about the Scotch-irish, who are considered some of the best warriors God has ever made, in our Celtic history segment. And I'll tell you also about Sinn Fein wins in everyday Celtic ways. Now, throughout the program, we're going to hear music from the Selkie Girls, Kathleen McInnes, Claire, and Bonnie Rideout. And as always, it's a wee bit of Irish trivia to test your knowledge to start us off. Where did Michael Callans fight during the Easter Rising and eventually get arrested along with other Irish rebel leaders? All right, Feuchamaich, let's kick this thing off. Enjoy.
I know a valley fair, I lean a room. I know a cottage there, I lean a room. Far in the valley shade, I know a tender maid, flower of the hazel glade, I lean a room. When like the rising day, I lean a room. Love sends his early ray, I lean a room. What makes his dawning glow, changeless through joy and woe? Only the constant know, I lean a room. Song so sweet, I lean a room. Who in the dance so fleet, I lean a room. Dear are her charms to me, dearer her laughter free, dearest her constancy, I lean a room. Was she no longer true, I lean a room. What would a lover do, I lean a room. Fly with a broken chain, far o'er the sounding main, never to love again, I lean a room. Youth must in time decay. Eileen a room. Beauty must fade away. Eileen a room. Castles are sacked in war. Chieftains are scattered far. Truth is a fixed star. Eileen a room. Truth is a fixed star. Eileen a room.
Alright, that was Eileen a Room, or Naheran by the Selkie Girls. And now, Ha and Tom of Feuchamaich Beagan Gaidhlig, it's time for Let's Try a Little Gaelic. I do not represent myself as an authority on the Gaelic language, only someone who loves learning it, and who wants others to help others in their journey along the way of learning Gaelic themselves. What I teach comes right from the textbooks of well-respected Gaelic teachers. I am just trying to make something interesting, informative, and fun. Now today we're going to discuss part 2 in the regular verbs. And as always, I'll display on the screen what I am discussing. So Tusik Shin, let's begin. Regular verbs, past tense. Now, you may have noticed that whenever you see a new verb, two verbs are given. The imperative command form and the present participle, the verbal noun form. It is important to learn both forms because the imperative is the basis for forming other verb tenses. To form the verb tense of regular verbs, simply aspirate the imperative form. And you see that here, and I'll give you a couple examples below. Alright. The imperative form is fuck. I know that sounds bad, but it's fuck, which means leave. And of course, you aspirate it and make the present participle, the verbal noun, and a fuckle means leaving. So, then we have past tense, yachmi, I left, kado yachmi, I did not leave, ando yachmi, did I leave, nakdo yachmi, didn't I leave. Now, we'll go on to roof. Roof, run. The verbal noun, a roof, running. Past tense, ruthmi, I ran. Kado ruthmi, I did not run. Ando ruthmi, did I run. Nakdo ruthmi, didn't I run. Alright, move on to, goodness gracious, this is a hard one. Tikash, teach. A tikash, teaching. Hikashmi, I taught. Kado hikashmi, I did not teach. Ando hikashmi, did I teach. And of course, nakdo hikashmi, didn't I teach. Alright. Yonsik, learn. Ach yonsigik, learning. Yonsikmi, I learned. Kado yonsikmi, I did not learn. Ando yonsikmi, did I learn? And nakdo yonsikmi, didn't I learn? Alright, skriv, which means write. A skrivig, writing. Skrivmi, I wrote. Kado skrivmi, I did not write. Ando skrivmi, did I write? And then, of course, nakdo skrivmi, didn't I write? And at this point, it is important that you note the two different ways we have learned to form the past tense in Gaelic. Vami pokig, I was kissing. You just put the verb to be with the present participle. And there you go. And then, of course, folkmi, I kissed, which is just the imperative with the aspiration. All right. That's it for the regular verbs. We're going to give you a few sentences here to translate into Gaelic. Number 1, Endo Yonsik Gaelic Anju. 2, Nach do skriv iet Gaelic ansinsko. 3, Skriv me agus Yonsik anan Gaelic. 4, Nach do Ruth E and J. Actually, it should be Nach do Ruth A and J. 5, Endo Ruth and J. And 6, Ruth me and J. Alright, that's the end of Feuchamaich Beagan Gaidhlig. Before I go, anyone within the St. Louis area interested in a weekly Scottish Gaelic class, check out the St. Louis Scottish Gaelic Facebook page for info, or comment me and I will contact you and give you all the details. Alright, that's it for today. Enjoy!
Catcha dealcha dunne cod the rowan cod the rua. Na híle gachi chana croich gelische cod the rua. Chan nach gemische ferred vod she the avid course a chloi. Va giulan trusgang le cholomach the she cod the rua. Charo cocht an caniap no fod the sound sa chod the ruach. Sound vaik jaartje mach a corn the beard the chloin and one. Smo vile bianach eket halad a chum se jaar sa guai. Sa jara ve hart vi ede vjod na dringen god the ruach. Hjuling øyest våren hjørne lisje chod the ruach. Øyche hiesen arts de månes, øyche barnes hus. Charo talan sjench au noran gløynche kjall no duan. Nach eiche giat mo charich kodan a heinse god the ruach. Ach shemug mia vag hugugos u heins de chod the ruach. Amach gach eiche nuot bachar gav is a chos nam hoi. Eder baren jes bekies en jers ma hoi. Skandagas mit jidach sharaf geleor jet heins de chod the ruach. Galafshing eiche ganda joost is galachshing stop it chluash. Skande hielshing gachi eder doi as lish na golshing suas. Gegleintje mische tayang grot de galor ang loi. Swa bocht de launse hule poch a vidde chod de ruach. Hoeke vat na huisje gonach getraanjantje looi. Gan smuntje geged gol gan chos ach tolak gan man goort. Smikeestjach de sja chule skeel a chualas hies na hoos. Sa chule hun juet velver ek verre chod de rooi. Ach gumme fat fallang bjelvis verre chod de rooi. Gus ishe skjolin gi den jarne du I charnen boe. ma shes go jike quirch gebrach an was it ar in chloi. Gan sheen and bart the lovely chown the yedda heart the way.
Alright, that was Feuchamaich Beagan by Kathleen McInnes. Next, we'll delve into the rich history that is our Celtic past and the Celtic history break. Today's topic is Scotch-irish, the best warrior God has ever made. Wow. Now, the Scotch-irish who came to America in its beginning, those who helped shape its future, are considered among the fiercest warriors, the toughest men God has ever created. They suffered persecution in Ireland, they fought the world's greatest military, the British, and almost won. Then suffered genocide, cultural annihilation, and forced migration. They suffered famine, abject poverty, and basically all the trials and tribulations a man can endure and still come out on top. The spark of freedom has always simmered within the soul of men like these. During the worst of times, they strove for a better life, always. So when the opportunity like America arose, it is no wonder so many took advantage of the chance for a free life. Given the fact that so many had become indentured servants in order to achieve this goal is fascinating. The idea of becoming a slave to eventually have the chance to be free is kind of mind-boggling. The idea of freedom, of being a free man, able to carve out your own destiny, this is what drove many of these men to come to America and do whatever it took to achieve the goal of freedom. If that meant fighting for another country's war, so be it. If that meant fighting for a country you had only recently called your enemy, so be it. Freedom was the goal, and whether that meant finding it in the embrace of the Almighty or the embrace of a virgin land full of opportunity, they were up to the call. Now, I have found excerpts from various books and articles and such to back up the claims that I have just made. In God's Frontiersman, the Scotch-irish epic by Roy Fitzpatrick, he quotes, "The Ulster immigrants became more Indianized than any other settler group, basing their calendar of farm work, their natural medicines, and their fighting habits on what had been traditional for centuries among the natives of America." Wow. And The Other Irish by McCarthy, he goes on to quote, "This rapid transformation in appearance quickly set them apart from the wigs and buckles and frilly shirts of New England. Almost immediately, the frontier revitalized the hunter-warrior encoded in their bloodline. In a belt around their waist, they wore a tomahawk and a scalping knife for hunting and self-defense. Skill with the rifle and knife were essential to survival, and a good marksman had great status in his community." He was speaking of course, the Scotch-irish. In Born Fighting, the book, they would not go, he quotes, "They would not go to America as Scots or Irishmen. A century of turmoil in the beautiful but tormented hills of Ulster or the Highlands had changed them. They were farmers and fighters, these two callings inseparable in their history and culture. They were now a different people. Their blood and traditions had been shaped by centuries in Scotland, then both hardened and sedimentized by Ireland, and yet neither land would ever again fully claim them. They were the unsung orphans of both." Wow. Also in Born Fighting it says, "True to its Scottish and Irish roots, the culture that dominated this religion was openly unafraid of higher authority, intent on personal honor, quick to defend itself against attack of any sort, and deeply, deeply patriotic." The Scotch, this is from a blog, Wicklamick. The Scotch-Irish settlers were superb frontiersmen in early colonial America. Their experiences over the previous centuries in the Scottish borders and then fighting the Irish nationalists and Catholics in Northern Ireland had made them well used to danger and hardship. They were ideally suited for the work that lay ahead in the movement west. All right. Billy Kennedy goes on to say, the Scotch-Irish were prepared for establishing settlements on the American frontier. They had endured for more than a century life in the harsh, rugged, and parts hostile countryside of the Northern Ireland, and the time they reached America had survived numerous wars, sieges, famines, drought, and religious persecution. They were a people certainly not deterred by the dangers they faced in their new environment, and most found the wide open spaces to their liking. All right. Again, in Born Fighting by Jim Webb, it would be the Ulster Scots rather than the English or the Irish that would take stock of later English policies and decide in the greatest numbers to leave Ireland for America. Thus would start the first great Celtic migration out of Ireland, which would begin in the early 1700s and did not cease until the beginning of the American Revolution in 1776. President William McKinley is quoted as saying, the Scotch-Irish were the first to proclaim for liberty in these United States. Even before Lexington, Scotch-Irish blood had been shed for American freedom. In the forefront of every battle was seen their burnished mail, and in the retreat was heard their voice of constancy. Wow. All right, George Washington at Valley Forge is quoted as saying, if all else fails, I will retreat up the Valley of Virginia, plant my flag on the Blue Ridge, rally around the Scotch-Irish of that region, and make my last stand for liberty amongst a people who will never submit to British tyranny whilst there is a man left to draw a trigger. Wow. His looks spoke out that he would not fear the devil should he meet him face to face. Wow. President Theodore Roosevelt said the backwoodsmen were American by birth and parentage, and of mixed race, but the dominant strain in their blood was that of the Presbyterian Irish, the Scotch-Irish as they were often called. Mingled with the descendants of many other races, they nevertheless formed the kernel of the distinctive and intensely American stock who were pioneers of our people in their march westward. Wow. A Hessian officer writing home during the Revolutionary War wrote this, call this war by whatever name you may, only call it not an American rebellion. It is nothing more or less than a Scotch-Irish Presbyterian rebellion. Wow. General Robert E. Lee, when asked, said, what race of people do you believe make the best soldiers? His reply, the Scots, who came to this country by way of Ireland, because they have all the dash of the Irish in taking up a position and all the stubbornness of the Scots in holding it. Wow, that's pretty cool. This one's by Born Fighting again by Jim Webb, whose families walked hundreds of miles, some of them using cows as pack animals. These were uncommonly tough people used to hardship. They asked for nothing from the government or anything else, and nothing is what they usually received. Wow. And the last one here from God's Frontiers. The clothes he brought from Ireland wore out quickly as he moved through heavy undergrowth. Much of his first year's food supply come from hunting. So animal skins replaced cloth, and being highly adaptable, he took on an Indian style of dress, hunting shirt, deerskin, breeches, and moccasins. He allowed his hair to grow long. Within a year on the frontier, the transformation would be complete. It would seem that the idea of the Scotch-Irish were a formidable warrior, full of pride, potential, and prominence. Through hard work, hard fighting, and hard living, they forged a path that would give them the respect and integrity that was afforded very few others. All right, that's it for today's Celtic history break.
Chalin Gilestone Benachwalen Reyeren Cheshe Yerig Faun She kainst of Yal Bevinjelum En Norvig Binchin Traum Stu Hokeg Suas Machri Noer vitu brejinjere Gernuat achet hamis min noch gerarche choin Miahunt ach machatol Stachatre vatte voam Getricht mi aus das Mönchach As tückisch hamit ruag Es mörötjian mi tötin Chavimo hulpuan Tachgan muntach jol Sound a hashich kach Die jinshig damacher nyakse Nach chilin sekuperach Na kurig shit asht gruayma Na loayma vismislan Chachum dat dicheruat Ach sayet chruaye vash Get hirig kach siat fanet rum nach hel ma frahe jaun Am fere kam vel forstan ha kroische genach jaun Samische teingel taliche get hamos paran gaun Swan kimi mochalin Gilestone Benachwalen reyeren cheshe yerig faun She kainst of yal bevinjelum En noervig minchin traum Stu hokeg suas machri Noer vitu prejingre
Alright, that was Mohallan Gila Stone, My Brown-Haired Faithful Girl by Claire. Now it's time for Everyday Celtic Ways, a look into how our Celtic heritage is still very much a part of our everyday lives. Today we'll tell you a story about Sinn Fein wins. Alright, the Irish election, Sinn Fein. Their success brings a major shift in the politics of Ireland. Now, in an Everyday Celtic Ways segment a few weeks ago, I told you about the resurgence of the former political wing of the IRA, that is the Irish Republican Army. It was gaining support from a country that has seen little help from their government, only more broken promises and excuses. So there's no doubt that the big winners in the Irish general election held on the 8th of February 2020 has been Sinn Fein. When all first preference votes are counted, the Republican Party had taken 24.5% of the votes, compared to 22 for Fianna Fáil and 21 for Fine Gael. The election was for the Dáil Éireann, which is their form of legislature over there in Ireland. And at the election, 159 of the 160 seats in the Dáil were contested, with that of the Speaker always being re-elected automatically. The final results showed that Sinn Fein had won 37 seats, an increase of 14, and establishment parties had lost 6. The election was held at a time when Ireland's electorate had become increasingly dissatisfied with the present Fine Gael administration's inability or even unwillingness to deal with a number of the important issues, including healthcare, housing, and crime. Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are seen as being a part of the establishment, who many viewed as having a cozy arrangement for one or the other form of government. Kind of like that, seemed like there was, like here in America, between the Democrats and the Republicans for so long, seemed like they were perfectly happy just wallowing in the mire up there in Washington, D.C., not really getting anything doing, given all these campaign promises and nothing happening, and throwing us a bone from time to time to keep us happy. Then, of course, here comes along Donald Trump, and you may, whether you like him or not, he has really turned things around for America, and he has kind of, I don't know how it's hard to put, he's the status quo. They aren't the status quo anymore. They're really it's like when you flip on the light in a house and the bugs go running. That's kind of what's happening in Washington, D.C. right now. And the bugs are trying to figure out where to go. Now, the success of Sinn Fein has changed that status quo in Ireland right now. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Now, the results could have been better for Sinn Fein. They entered the 2020 general election with the expectation that they would do well, but they didn't know how well. Now, until the election, they had experienced a number of setbacks, and so decided to adopt a kind of a, take it easy defensive strategy. Over there, to become a majority part of the government, you need 80 seats. Okay? Now, Sinn Fein not necessarily will end up in government despite its success. The number for winning a majority, like I said, was 80 seats, and none of the three parties made that number. Of course, Sinn Fein being the largest. There will be much political wrangling to come in the weeks ahead, and as attempts are made to form a coalition government, the preference of Sinn Fein leader Mary Lou MacDonald is for the entirely new government without the two big parties. So she's going to go after the stragglers, the ones that the parties, the independents, and the smaller parties that garnish 1, 2, 3, 5% of the vote. Because if you add up everything between the three major parties, there's still about 20% of votes out there that they didn't get. So it is possible that by not fielding its own higher number of candidates in areas like Dublin, it has helped other candidates who share a similar economic stance. They're going to try to fill that vacuum and get their people elected in those areas. Now, needless to say, the parties of the establishment are going to be working hard to ensure that Sinn Fein is locked out of power. And although that some of Finn Féil are now suggesting working with Sinn Fein, whatever happens in the weeks ahead, attempts to ignore the electoral support for Sinn Fein in this election will not go down well with an increasing number of dissatisfied voters in Ireland, who are just looking for solutions to many of the problems that are urgently needed to be addressed. So, it would be wise for Sinn Fein to, I guess, become the People's Party and let them know that they're there to change things. And when they get in power, actually change some things. You see the support that Trump has garnered here in America by getting some things done. You may not, like I said, you may not like Trump. You may think he's the worst person in the world, but our economy's great and people love him. And there's also a certain amount of people that hate him, but I think those are the people that are losing the power. So that's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Ireland. All right. Y'all have a good day. And that's it for Everyday Celtic Ways. Well, that's it for today's show. I hope you liked it. I'm trying to keep it interesting, informative, and fun. For me, anytime you can infuse something Celtic into your day, it's a good day. And I would like to thank everyone for all the support and kind words, likes, and new subscribers. Tapalev Herlichen. Thank you, friends. Now, before I go, the trivia question answer. Where did Michael Collins fight during the Easter Rising and eventually get arrested along with the other Irish rebel leaders? And that would be the General Post Office on what is now O'Connell Street there in Dublin. You can still, if you go there today, you can still see the bullet holes in the stone face and the columns on the building. And it's still a working post office, which is kind of cool. Alright, remember to check out Gaelic for Sassenachs on Facebook to get Gaelic in your newsfeed every day. Check out Duolingo.com. Check out LearnGaelic.net. All these are great resources for learning Gaelic. To support organizations here in America that are promoting Scottish culture and language, go to acgaamerica.org. And, of course, go to my YouTube channel, Old Scot, and you'll get the Celtic podcast. You get Learn a Gaelic Song videos on there. If you ever want to learn a Gaelic song, they're really cool. And I gather up all kinds of videos from all over the YouTube and the web and kind of give you a one-stop shop for all your Celtic needs. All right. That's it. So, Martian Leavendrost, bye for now. And I'll let you go with a song called MacDonald, Lord of the Isles. It's a romantic air by Bonnie Rideout. Enjoy.